dot dot dot. Let's talk about the countless Gacha NTR controversies. Now, I didn't know there was that many Gacha controversies. I thought that it would be... Well, I know there's some Gacha controversies with the voice actors. I didn't know there was like other controversies. Well, apparently Sweet Baby Inc. was an actual problem, but I don't know. I don't want to give my opinion on something I'm not that informed on. I can only give my opinion on how I feel the world is and probably why content creators do this. Oh my god, I legit thought this was a Muujin thumbnail. Let's talk about how horrible fandoms have become.
Now I know upon seeing the title, you might be thinking, yo, Tsunul, yo, what the hell is this? Why would you make this video?
Huh?
And my answer to that question is, it's funny. So with that being said, let's talk about cucking. I swear, I will only make 3 Sneeko jokes in this entire video. So in case you do not know what cucking is, I won't be explaining that to you. But I will be explaining the various time gacha game players were sitting in that one chair, where their waifu was taken away from them, either getting lioned, being involved in a plot straight out of an NTR, or going off to play Mahjong. And yes, you heard that right. Various times. Times where players have been outraged that their waifus are loving a fictional man outside of the main character has happened a lot.
Wait, this is a video about people being parasocial with the anime characters in games, basically, right? Hey, Maverick.
And in all honesty, I bet it's gonna happen again, which may dwindle my faith within humanity, but at the same time, at least we get to have a laugh about all this, like damn near every Limbus Company player did when we read this review of the game. I'm dropping this game. PM clearly doesn't know how gacha work. All those early system-related blunders made me still believe, but releasing the alt form of the main girl being obsessed with another guy? Yeah,
what?
I have seen where this goes. I won't pay any more money for garbage like this. You better believe me, you will get an influx of all the scum of various communities flocking into your fanbase and draw as much cuckold porn of Foss and Sinclair and any version of themselves and Dante watching in the corner. Now, in case you have no context on what a Limbus Company even is, you may be thinking that the game...
Wait, Shark Chaos, are you talking about the Yeah, you guys didn't tell me about what's the comment he left. So he left a comment saying he hasn't watched it yet. He heard about Bridge through a post on the Kotaku and Action subreddit. Okay, that makes sense. You know, these big channels like that, they have people do research for us and they get like script writers, and it's like the 15 minutes video, there's really not much you can fit in a 15-minute video, man. I don't think I've ever done a 15-minute video. It's impossible. It's super surface level if you do. Yeah, I mean, I understand getting a parasocial relationship with a content creator, but I don't really get the ones with... I don't really get parasocial relationship with video game characters. I really don't. Unicorns in gacha games can be as bad as gachikois and VTubers? Really? Bro, that's crazy, but also, why would you put like a fully fleshed out love story in a gacha game where everybody's supposed to be your husbando and waifu? Bro, I don't want some fucking romance in my gacha games. I'm trying to forget about all that. It can be implied like a little bit of flirting, but I don't want to see 2 people kiss. That's gonna gross me. You know what? Maybe I am a unicorn. You know what? Maybe I am a toxic shipper.
Game drops some mega simp version of a waifu towards a male character that isn't the main one. Like if Firefly was head over heels for like Bootil or something. But that's not what happened. To put it as quickly as possible, as it finds a way to make this post even stupider, the game has this character called Cromer. She's obsessed with Sinclair, but not in a romantic way. Long story short, she's insane and wants to mind break Sinclair. Not in a yandere way either, mind you. More so in a I'll murder your entire family type of way. And for his own identity, we're in a parallel world. She is in Cromer's position and is the one trying to mind break Sinclair. Now somehow, this person looked at this and went, man, I wish that was me. Keep in mind, Sinclair went through enough trauma to where detailing it will immediately get this video demonetized, and someone got jealous that they didn't have all of that happen to them. So to put this all in perspective...
It should have been me!
They got jealous that a fictional woman underwent the totally scientific process of becoming a version of herself in a different dimension. Where in that dimension, she was obsessed with making this German boy have more trauma than 10 prisoners of war combined. And they decided this was so outrageous to where they needed to make a post saying how they're dropping the game on the Steam page. Now, as you may have suspected, they did not drop the game. So
she's not obsessed with the other guy, she's like torturing him, and that guy was like, it should have been me!
Instead, after some months, they went on to say, PM learned from Enfoss, and I am happy to play this game. Praising how one of the female characters has that identity in which they are not romantically interested in a male character, and conversely, the dude isn't canonically interested in her. Which, I honestly don't have much else to really add. This is just... I'm glad they're happy. Now, unfortunately, within saying all this, you may think this is the deep end, that it can't get weirder than this. But what if I said we were still in the shallow waters? What we got right here is on the mild side of these stories. As the thing with this is it's more than likely a joke, but the other topics I'll be bringing up, unfortunately, aren't. Like Blue Archive and Mahjong Soul. A bit ago, the two games had a collab together, and the deal was Mahjong Soul will get some Blue Archive characters in it. On the other...
I don't know how to play Mahjong, but I'd play it. I want to play it now that I know Blue Archive made a collab with them.
Side, Blue Archive didn't get anything new in its game, which probably did suck for the players who weren't interested in playing Mahjong Soul. And some were mad about that, but the big controversy stemming from this collab wasn't due to it not going both ways. It was about the fact that Mahjong Soul has a system in which you are able to riz the characters.
Oh,
that's right, you can give them gifts to increase their bond level, and in turn you get...
Hey yo, feet for free?
Mainly new voice lines. But when you max out their hearts, you get to make a bonding promise with the character, which gives you alternative art with them, some emotes, and even more bond lines. Now, this is a basic romance system.
I want to play this game!
And some of the bond lines definitely go in that direction as well. And that is where the controversy lies. The fact that...
Oh, it's voice lined. Okay, I don't care about that. Never mind.
The game has a romance system, which meant that in this collab, the Blue Archive characters flew on the Lolita Express to Mahjong Soul, a game in which they will be swooned by that protagonist's Mahjong capabilities, and in turn be NTR'd from the senseis playing Blue Archive. Those who are outraged at this decided there was only one room for recourse, one action in which they could stop those children, their waifus, from being NTR'd. And that action was buying a protest truck, which has become commonplace whenever a gacha game has some controversy.
No way!
I swear to God, the owners of these trucks must be making a killing.
People buy advertising to complain about gacha games on trucks? Yo, I admire the passion. Like, I admire the commitment, man. But that's what? This is crazy. I don't know if I'm impressed or like shocked right now. I don't know. It's like I'm on the line. Holy shit.
Once rented out like every other week. But to translate the text on the truck, it says, Yostar, in an attempt to profit for themselves, collaborated in the direction of our dear students in a game that can mean almost marriage within the game. They are not moving on even after 10,000 comments from players and are ignoring the voice of the players. Gentama has a game that has a contract function, forcing our precious students to sign contracts with the players of other games, and even includes rather obscure content such as Valentine's Day chocolates and voices. Not only does this trample on the feelings of the entire student body, but it also destroys the crystal clear worldview of Blue Archive. We must not create this poll. The translation is very rough, as the person taking the photo of the truck has evidently not upgraded their phone from when they bought the Nokia 7650, and I had to put the image into something to take the characters from this blurry pic and then put it through DeepL to translate. So it's a rough overview, but it shows why people were mad, so much to where they decided to buy a truck. And keep in mind, this is gacha game players we're talking about. For them to spend their money on something aside from gambling, that's how you can know some fucked shit is transpiring. But to be clear, a romance system is not the problem. After all, Blue Archive also has one. It was the idea that a player aside from the sensei, Blue Archive self-insert, would be the one to romance or grow closer to the characters. That is what made it seem like cucking, that a different player would be the one to grow closer to the students. And honestly, it's not like there was any big romance. Most of the bond lines are something you would say to a friend, but there is that small idea of romance behind them which pissed off evidently enough people for a couple thousand comments to be raised in protest.
Yeah, male on screen?
It's not like everyone was mad, as even though Blue Archive players have a fun reputation, most of them know it's rather impossible to be cucked by pixels. And from what I've seen, a ton of players were happy with the collab. Any outrage of it was either from Blue Archive getting nothing, or from the crowd which thought the affection system was the beginning plot point to a 20-page NTR dojin. But I bet if it was taken out, then no protest truck would have been deployed. Which is why one game decided to remove their romance system entirely for a collab, Azur Lane. In case you don't know what Azur Lane is, then I wish you nothing but happiness in your Bible study. It's Waifu Collector 9000.
Wait, how did that image made it through on YouTube?
Get skins for them, which somehow feel more rude than being bare-ass naked, and you can marry them with the O system. So when the creators thought about doing the Idol Master collab, they looked at the O system. Looked at how idol fans would go on a rampage if their favorite idol was even slightly rumored to have looked within the postal code of another man. then thought to themselves, bitch, we good, and made the Tiara system, where instead of how the old system is, where you go to the chapel and put a ring on the ship, stamp some marriage paper, and rename the character if you want to, you instead open the fucking door to darkness from Kingdom Hearts, appear on an idol stage, flashbang everyone with the tiara, and then the idol pulls up saying, hey brother, I learned a lot underneath your tutelage. In my career, when I leave this place and have no further relations with you, I will be sure to utilize this invaluable knowledge. And you just unite with them as opposed to marrying. Which, as much as I make fun of the system, honestly, I don't really blame them for making it.
What the fuck? No, I want the ring. I want the ring. Where's the ring? That is way cooler.
It's smart as hell to not mess with idol culture. Brother, they dodged a nuclear bomb. Friend zoning all players was legitimately the greatest business decision they made in a waifu game, and it's—
They friend zoned all players? Shut up!
Wow, that ain't even a lie. It's like when Bang Dream, which is an idol game, decided to make a spin-off with a male cast of characters. The thing is, it was set in the same universe, so you could already imagine how mad people got when the idea sprung up.
No, whoa! Males in the same world as my waifus? Over my dead body!
Of their idol waifus being in the same universe as males. Which is why the producer of it came out to say, nope, they're in two different universes and the males will not interact with the female idols.
Yeah, it's on the Metaverse timeline, you know? There's a bunch of different worlds, even though they happen at the same time. That's what it is. Trust, guys.
Then, yeah, the ratio speaks for itself. And this ain't even out of the ordinary.
Bang
Grand
Dream.
Blue kind of went down a similar route. They did a collab with Love Live, and sure enough, some people got mad as hell since Grand Blue's got dudes in it. Which meant the waifus will be interacting with males. Hell, the player character can be one too, as you have the option of being male or female in it. So sure as sugar, when the collab launches a pop-up display saying, in the spirit of the world of Love Live, we recommend changing the main character's gender to female when playing. So, happy belated Pride Month, I suppose? But it's in the spirit of Love Live to have the protagonist be female, as from what I've seen—
They did a collab with another game, and the other game had male characters. Yo, this is like when different factions from Hololive collab together for like a tournament and people freak out. Because the male and females will be in the same stream. No way.
Male characters in the game. And honestly, that might be an understatement. So the way to help quell any outrage was to make the canon route only involve the female protagonist, and yeah, that makes perfect sense. I ain't really mad at it. Though to go in the complete opposite route from a game where males are as rare as goddamn Worlds End Harem, let's talk about a game that put a literal NTR plot in a story.
Ooh.
And in case you don't know what NTR is, it's basically Japanese for cucking. But yeah, I'm not even playing with you. A game made an official story that felt ripped straight from an NTR doujin. For Guardian Tales' 2nd anniversary, someone had the bright idea to craft this concoction that left everyone who read it completely confused on just why the hell they would even make it a thing. The concoction was the backstory for the 2nd anniversary's male hero. Here's a summary of it. Hero's master is dying. They thank him for being good to him for the last 30 years, saying that he guided him during the time they were together, and if it wasn't for his master, he would have lost his life all those years ago. What happened all those years ago? Well, the hero was badly injured, lost a lot of blood, and possibly his ability to practice martial arts. He was on the verge of death. There he laments over failing and thought that he won't be able to continue with his craft. He's paralyzed and won't be able to move. Some robots pull up and want to end his life so they can put him out of his misery. But the monk makes the decision to perform surgery on him, with which the master sacrifices themselves for the hero, causing the surgery to turn him into a cyborg. We return to the present. The hero wants to leave, the master warns him against revenge, but he felt like some things had to be settled. You see, before he was injured, there was this martial arts competition, and the prize was being together with the daughter of the sect leader and fame across the land. Unbeknownst to everyone, the hero and the girl were already in love and in a secret relationship. But the hero wanted to use this opportunity to prove himself and announce their relationship to the public. So he goes in and defeats his senior in the finals, winning the tournament. But the senior couldn't admit defeat and managed to successfully frame the character and the sect leader for studying demonic arts. Now, because of this, the sect leader kills himself. Then the hero gets jumped by everyone else in the sect, and that is what left—
Wait, that is dark. It took a weird dark ending there. It's not just cooking, it's art. Yeah, I think some male gacha characters are cool. Like, there's some characters you want to roll, like in Wuthering Wave. I like the guy that looks like Sephiroth. That guy is hot. I mean, I still prefer rolling for the female characters, that's true.
Left him almost dead and caused the monk to sacrifice their body to save him. Here comes the Sneeko moment. Hero returns to the sect to find his senior, who was now the sect leader. But everyone looked at the hero as though he was a monster, So to confront the sect leader, he had to beat down everyone in the sect. Now when he reached his senior, his love interest, the daughter, apologized and got on her knees, begging him to show mercy to the sect leader because she was pregnant with his child, and she didn't want him to be born into a world without his father. He realized that his senior won and the winner gets the girl, and felt as though he lost all purpose and the reasoning for his revenge. It was all for naught. So he decides to follow the monk's words and give up on revenge. He leaves without doing shit to the sect leader, returns to the monk and decides his purpose is to save others, etc, etc. Time passes, monk is old and died. He left some golden beads that the MC now carries with him. What the fuck were they thinking with this shit? Goddamn. It's like The Last of Us 2, but for cucks.
Yeah, but she does. Wait, where's the NTR in there? I don't get it. Did she hook up with the cyborg guy? This is Guardian Tales? Wait, so does the pregnant girl leave with the cyborg guy, or he just stays? No, she cucked the cyborg guy. Oh, that's his love interest. That's the cyborg guy love, and she is pregnant with the sect leader's baby. What the fuck is that dramatic story? Is this like a soap opera? Oh, I see. What? I never expected that.
See, the prior stories were things that were blown out of proportion, but this one is just a literal NTR plot put within a game. And I won't hold you, I think it's a bare minimum okay backstory, but they really didn't need to say the girl got fucked, possibly in a non-consensual way, by the guy that framed the NC as a villain, caused the monk to turn into a cyborg, and, oh yeah, made the daughter's father, self-log off from the server called Earth. Granted, the overall idea that someone does all this evil and doesn't face anything from it is weird for a story, but it portrays the idea of, this person is a forgiving soul. So I suppose it works well like that. But again, it just makes the hero sound stupid, as it makes it seem like they'd forgive.
Okay, the sect leader guy doesn't look nearly evil enough. He looks like a nice guy, and then they tell me all of his evil backstory, and it's too much of a gap moe, man. Parasocial relationship and idol cultures are toxic. Both are possessive of the girls and people like me. I don't use males because I hate rolling for them. Yeah, they're definitely less hype. That's for sure. I don't like rolling for them too.
Give a serial killer if they just remembered the monk's words of forgiveness, which I don't know if that's really the greatest character trait to have, but whatever. Though the pregnancy is deadass some shit you'd hear from an NTR hentai, so with that being said, you can possibly imagine that the players weren't happy. Due to this, the team behind Guardian Tales apologized.
Is there often pregnancies in NTR hentai? The princely looking guy is almost always a twist villain, especially if they're even slightly incooperative. He would need way more jawline for it to be a prince villain.
Apologized and gave the players 30 pulls as compensation. And the writer of it went off to buy 20 NTR dojins and donate to their hero Sneeko with the money they got from writing the event. But I do understand people disliking this backstory as it feels really poorly written, to the point where I'm surprised it was approved. So out of all dramas, this one was the most understandable. However, what we got right here is the opposite, a completely unreasonable situation, in which someone's work was thrown away due to players feeling outraged over a ship they showed interest in. And it comes from Punishing Grey Raven, where half a year ago Kurogame hosted the Chinese New Year live event, in which one contestant's work was to be shown off. However, when the time came for the event, her work was nowhere to be found. Now, the reason for its disappearance isn't inherently due to the video itself. After all, it was this very wholesome video focused around Bianca, as the creator of it just really loved her. There wasn't any problematic content in it and no shipping content to be found. I mean, the video was verified and set to be shown during the event. However, in the past, the creator has made art and a fanzine about Bianca being shipped with Watanabe, a male character who isn't the protagonist. And that was the reason as to why their work was not displayed in that official event.
Are you kidding me? Because they've made other fan art in the past?
In their post regarding having their work removed, they stated how the submission did not break any rules and how it took a month to make. Also, any ship content they made in the past has been tagged for people to easily block those tags to avoid it, and they stated how much they love the game and Bianca, as some were saying she didn't really care about them, basically tourist energy. Now, in response to this post, she was told how she deserves to die, among other hateful comments, as they made shipping content between a female character and someone who wasn't the main character, which I doubt I need to say just why that is so stupid. But I feel it's even worse in this case for two reasons. One is that someone's hard work was thrown away because they liked a ship, not anything even related to the work itself. But the other reason I find it to be bad is, the Punishing Grey Raven community is incredibly chill. Like abundantly so. You rarely see any drama come out of it. Straight up, if I said this same situation but with Hoyo characters, as there have been many examples of something similar, you wouldn't be surprised. Deadass, if I came up to you and asked, did you hear about the recent Hoyo drama? Most people who know about gacha games would reply, which one? Natlin, Nuvalet, Mo's and Sundays VA, Zenla Zone Zero's official Reddit? Which one are we referring to here? Such dramas are really commonplace for Hoyo stuff, and the PGR community is at large one you don't see many dramas for. Yet, here we are. This same idea of a fictional character liking another man was enough to stir the pot and cause outrage, even when it was an individual getting their work shown off in an official event, with those works being removed from any shipping-oriented stuff. Just the mere fact that they were known as a shipper for that pairing was enough to throw away their work.
That's
now,
sad.
I don't need to say all this within the regard of painting the PGR community as the golden child, how communities should act, and then Hoyo stuff is basically just Garbodor over there. As with these videos, I like to always make the distinction that the people I bring up do not paint the entire community, nor am I saying this to try and display Kurogame as some devil company. After all, you've seen the outrage generated from these situations. Can you really blame them? Needless to say how the creator probably would have been harassed more if their works were shown off in that official light. Though I only state this distinction between Hoyo and Kuro to say that regardless of the community being either known as toxic or not, this same idea of being outraged at the fictional characters liking someone who isn't the protagonist persists. Across all of these various games, the same idea is what drives the controversy, barring Guardian Tales, as that's a pretty distinct outlier. So I want you to think about why that's the case. Why so many people are mad about this irrespective of whatever community they are from. And as that idea is in your head, let's talk about the biggest drama involving a fictional woman being cucked from the Fedora
There's
warehouse.
more?
Girls Frontline 2, which is a game where you rizz up guns.
What?
I'm not even playing with you either.
But they're
the
girl
characters are named
guns.
after guns. We got good old M4A1, A91, STG44, MP5, M99, and Makarov.
Okay, but
Wait,
it's
is
not
this
the same. They're girl guns.
It's a
Hello.
fucking Call of Duty ripoff? Regardless, if you ever see a post on Twitter saying fuck your guns, open up the quote retweets to see the entirety of the 34 were posted
That's
there.
good.
But what if the Rule 34, or within this case official story, is NTR? That is what brings us to this drama. So Girls Frontline 2 is on the eve of releasing, but 2 months before it drops, players smell something fishy about Type 95. The general premise of the plot is that Girls Frontline 1 happens, at the end of it, Commander and Dolls go their separate ways. 10 years pass by, and bam, Girls Frontline 2 pulls up. Naturally, players are curious about what their waifus have been doing during those 10 years, so we get to see some stories about them. And here's how Type 95's, now named Diane, opens up. Idol Diane is preparing to sing for a big celebration, and Mr. Raymond is the person in charge of the celebration. On a certain day, Diane is humming a song softly, and the tune is slowly filling the air. Raymond's footsteps stopped involuntarily. The melody of the song seemed to have a kind of magic, which made Raymond feel excited. Taking a deep breath, suppressing the fluctuations in his heart, he cautiously walked to 95. Warned her in a low voice that this place was dangerous and should not be stayed for a long time.
Oh, no, not the low voice.
Suggested that she leave the city as soon as possible. Now here's the first problem. Raymond felt excited. You see, Raymond's a man.
Nah.
And Girls Frontline 1 had no system where you can marry dolls, in about the most dilapidated church God has ever witnessed. Though you can marry your dolls, and in the 10 years where she is away from the player character who possibly married her, another man is feeling excited about her. Based upon this video's track record, you may be able to witness the incoming car crash like he got future sight. But we fast forward a little and turns out someone wants to bomb the place Diane and Raymond are at. However, Diane finds out that Raymond is the one carrying out that bombing. She confronts him, reminds him of the tenderness of his mother. I'm sorry, is that Sigmund Freud calling? But when his plot is revealed, Diane stops the police from taking in Raymond Thundercock over there. Then the two collaborate, stop the other terrorists, and the police arrest his ass anyway, as he sings to her. Fast forward again, she finds a letter from Raymond that expressed his love and reluctance for her. And that's the end of it. Funny part is, this backstory is about 1.5 hours of Diane talking.
Oh no.
And Raymond is mentioned 66 times. Yes, people really counted that. And the commander is mentioned 0 times. So some players looked at this and went, damn, these hoes can't even stay loyal for 10 years. Christ, my homeboy Aaron's got a point. I feel for his ass. Now the cherry on top, or the piece that causes this Jenga tower to really crumble.
Because this guy doing the video is pretty funny. Tsunul, oh my god, it's a small channel. He's doing really well.
Was that the CN player base fucking loves Type 95. Apparently, it's a standard issue rifle in the Chinese armed forces. Basically, just imagine how Russians are with the AK-47. That is how they are to Type 95, from my understanding. Also, it finds a lot of use in anti-terrorism operations, which is funny because Raymond was basically plotting that out. So Team Mika sees the outrage and decides to Thanos snap Raymond out of existence and replace him with a woman, then rewrite her story for those 10 years. And honestly, even if the plot was kept the same but with a woman having romantic feelings for another woman, waifu players wouldn't really feel threatened. So they would have been safe on that front. But some other fronts, aside from the cuckener Type 95 over there, caused outrage. Like how the comments from the other dolls rub players the wrong way, with Spaz12 having said, "Freedom at last," when it came to leaving Griffin, the player character's group. Which was weird as Griffin treated the dolls much better than society at large did.
Yeah, the thing is, if it was 2 girls, then that's totally acceptable, but male and girl?
And apparently, the commander says that everyone left him until he was the last one left in the group, instead of mutually deciding to go their separate ways. But the drama doesn't just stop there, as after Raymond Thundercock was evaporated, a little change in Diane's design was found, where she had a pendant on her wrist.
Uh-oh.
Now you see, it has a thunder symbol.
No!
The now Thanos man was named Raymond, and the first character in it means thunder. So in other words, Raymond Thundercock is coming back with a post-mortem cuck session in the shape of a pendant, but Mika responded to this saying, as for the pendant given to Diane by Groza, it will be revealed in future storylines, so please stay tuned. Now in Russian, Groza means lightning, so that's why it looks that way. And does that explanation make sense? Yeah. But does that explanation matter to those who feel like Raymond Thundercock still has influence over their waifu? God no. So due to the influence of Riz Master Raymond Thundercock and the plot feeling a bit forgotten from the prior game, Girls Frontline 2 gets dragged through the mud. It's review bombed, people send tons of hate messages to Mika, which you can see in this video linked below. Big CN content creator shit on it, memes are made, CEO apologizes, game launches, pulls in less first day revenue than Path to Nowhere and Reverse 1999. Which, whilst those games are really good, their revenue numbers aren't exactly insane. So to have a game of this caliber pull in less is unideal. And oh yeah, someone made an NTR dojin with Diane getting together and railed by Raymond's thunderous cock shortly after this. In it, she got pregnant from him and showed in great detail what happened during those 10 years to the commander. And you may say, oh haha Tsunul, funny joke, but it's not in English, so there's no way it's true, Lamau. No, it is, I know, because...
Related but off topic, there's a fan that makes some great songs for Girls Frontline. Name is Storm Fury. Also stars 15. M4 SOPM mod 2 for the win. I assume you play that game. Holy shit. Episode 3, The Return of the Thundercock.
Because I personally translated it. To make sure it wasn't a meme people were perpetuating due to this drama, I went through each page of...
Nah! Half of these words didn't even make it on my hentai tier list.
Translating them all. And you know what? If my cranium need be cursed with the knowledge of what transpired in those 16 pages, then yours does too, goddammit. But that is the Girls Frontline 2 Raymond Diane NTR drama. There's also more reasons why people were pissed off at the game, like apparently deleting it in your root directory could also cause everything else in it to be deleted. Which it's fixed now, but yeah, that's pretty bad. But I don't care to get into it as it's not in the scope of this video, as the scope exists to just talk and joke about people getting cucked by literal pixels. But I do need to say that, jokes aside, this topic's actually kind of sad. Not because people's waifus have another collection of files they're interested in, but more so because people are legitimately invested over all of this. They actually feel cheated on. Within my videos, I've stated over and over that, end of the day, being greatly obsessed with what transpires over fictional work is not reason to throw vitriol at another human being.
I mean, it's like, it's sad, it is sad. I'm gonna expand on this in a sec. But, I mean, usually people that are really invested in parasocial relationships are people that are really lonely. That's like the one trait they have in common. So, people that have grown up, usually in their childhood, with little to no friends, and they spend a lot of time online developing like internet relationships or being in the internet culture. But if you are in that culture from a very young age, it's not really representative of how people connect with each other. People act so differently online than they act in real life. Hey, thank you for the Twitch sub, Enko. Welcome, welcome. Offered by Spoon. Thank you so much, Spoon. Thanks for the gifted sub.
Like, being mad at the person who ships Bianca and Watanabe is stupid to me, as those characters aren't real, so there's no reason to make an actual person
Spoon Hoa, that's you. Thank you, Spoon.
feel like shit over it. However, I find a distinction
really
needs to be made when saying that, as I don't want to convey the idea that fiction and what's presented in it is worthless, that it inherently holds no value, as I find that's just stupid to say. I mean, think about it, how many people want to become writers after reading Lord of the Rings? Shit, I recently read Damien, and aside from all the gay jokes I can make about it, that book was genuinely a masterpiece and opened up a lot of introspection for me. Even outside of literary classics, there's been some games I've played which covered topics and presented ideas that have helped me through very tough times, and most of y'all can probably relate. So don't say these are pixels within the regard of diminishing what a story can mean to a person, as fiction rightfully holds a lot of power within the real world. I just hate seeing actual people get harassed due to others being upset over something fictional. Like, for example, Honkai Impact 3rd had an event where the women in it were wearing bunny suits.
Yes.
The problem was the event only took place in the global server, so some CN players viewed it as an NTR event, where the girls were dressed up as Playboy bunnies, basically prostitutes, and sent for just the global audience. Someone got so mad at that to where they tried to assassinate the founders of Mahjong over a perceived cucking event. So when someone takes their love of fiction to that extreme, then I need to make the distinction that, homie, they ain't real. Much to my dismay, I'm still trying to go my wife who's in a test tube. But even though I poke fun at all these situations, at the core, I'm not inherently mad at anyone who feels cucked in them. More so, I feel sad, and I feel as though a greater conversation needs to be brought up about loneliness and how that translates to people being obsessed with fictional characters. Though, when it comes to that conversation, I'm gonna keep it 1,000.
That's kind of why I believe that doing BFE and GFE content is controversial. And for some reason, it's almost more accepted in the VTubing culture than doing content of a controversial nature. Like, it is preying on loneliness in a way. There is for sure some kind of criticism that needs to be levied at this. I'm just not sure to what extent. It's kind of like, the way I see it is, it's like with alcohol, you know? You can be an alcohol store, but are you responsible for the person that's had too many drinks, that becomes an alcoholic, that starts destroying his family because of his addiction? So there's part of it that's a user responsibility, and there's also a part of it that's also a content creator responsibility to a certain degree. I just don't know exactly to which degree that is yet. I think loneliness was always an issue. Internet just made it apparent. I don't think it just made it apparent. I think it made it even more powerful. And well, there's a lot of things that are contributing to loneliness. The lack of a third place for people to hang out. Like, when we were young, you'd hang out at the mall, or you'd go to the movie theaters. Now people don't really go out of their house or hang out in places like this. Now people hang out online in Discord servers or in forum boards. This is where they find communities with people that have similar interests to them. But, you know, when we were kids, we'd just go to a park and we'd meet other kids there. Yeah, they hang out in MMOs, exactly. I played Girls Frontline before. The shotguns were introduced into the game, but I dropped it when I realized it was censored in the West. No, not censored. Yeah, arcades was another third place. And also, well, there's just a lot that less people are, you know, getting married in general, and there's just way less of a sense of community. So of course, there's a rising epidemic of loneliness. I think in Japan, there was like a statistic that they're all single person household. You know, even if when you live in an apartment with other people, when I lived with other people, I had like a very social lifestyle, and every day you talk to people, which is a lot more healthy than what I'm doing now, living alone. Now imagine if more than 50% of the population is living alone, all in like their separate tiny apartment units. That's kind of dystopian in a way.
As one with you, I'm only 21 years old. I would not even come close to saying that I am in a position of maturity to really tackle that problem. But I can say that within my videos pertaining to topics such as this, I always have the same perspective.
What's other people? Okay, now I don't remember what I said. Even when you're a VTuber and you get married to some male idol, it's still a single household? Is it an internet marriage? Is it an e-marriage?
Of live and let live. At the end of the day, if someone is not harming themselves or another, then I don't have reason to really interject with what they're doing. So if someone has a fictional character they really love, then hey, I don't got a problem with it if it makes you happy. I might make jokes about it, and from my perspective, I feel like obsession with a fictional character can be damaging, like when it's taken to the extreme of people getting married to fictional characters. I would say that there's some worries.
Leave that guy alone, he's happy.
But most people don't exist within this extreme. If you have a fictional character that makes you happy when you see art about them or them appearing in stories, then yeah.
Be right back.
I'm glad. If there's something that makes you happy and you're not harming anyone else for it, then no one should take that away from you. So the people in this video who are mad at, let's say, the Blue Archive girls getting rizzed up by the Mahjong master, it's stupid, but end of the day, it's nothing really serious. However, those who threw vitriol at people over the Girls Frontline situation or the PGR one, I feel like a lot more needs to be addressed, as there's some problems to view fiction within the regard of something as unimportant as my waifus, to hold that as a basis of hating real humans. Fiction rightfully holds a lot of power, and if loving a character makes you happy, then go off, enjoy yourself. Just never take it to the point of being at another's throat.